You know, we all get excited when a new neighbor moves into town and we want to know all about that person. Well, we've got a new neighbor in town and I wanted to tell you about him and introduce you to him. Keith Hunter, who has moved into Forsyth County. He owns the Armory Golf Center as well as the Kernersville Golf Center now. And we know those things have brought you to the Triad, but I want to back up just a little bit first and talk about where you came from to bring you here. And part of that it started before that, but you went to the University of Iowa, and we've got a big Big Ten contention around here.
Is that right?
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
Considering
awesome.
it's ACC country, we do have Big Ten folks and fans
Well,
around
that's
here.
good to know. You know, I always run into Iowa people, and Iowa people are great people. I love to see them, and I meet them everywhere I go. But what brought me here? I own a indoor facility, golf facility, KGA's Golf Academy in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And I was looking for a retirement plan for myself. So I looked online for what driving ranges was for sale around the country. And I wanted to be somewhere warm. So when I looked online, I saw that there was one in Winston-Salem. And I said, perfect. And I came through a couple of times, looked at the place, and I just felt something warm about the place, and I said, there go my retirement plan.
But you're a big golfer now. That wasn't always the case. You played pro football, too.
Yes, I was a free agent for the Cleveland Browns, and that was a great experience. You know, first of all, the University of Iowa was a great experience. Coming from Newark, New Jersey, and 5 guys from my high school went to University of Iowa, so it was great for us. All of us were captains. All of us had an opportunity to play in the NFL, which is great. But, you know, the NFL is not everything.
Yeah, and
you know?
it doesn't last forever, and it sort of speaks to what we're talking about today, the reinvention of you.
That's correct, absolutely. And so I got into golf I coached college football at every level. And when you go to the coaches convention, there's a huge golf tournament and a tennis tournament. And at the time, I was a tennis player, even though my friends tried to get me to play in college. And I said, no, I'm not playing that game. I'm not chasing after a white little ball. So after I went on the golf course with them, you get this bug, and I fell in love with the game. And I started playing. That happened like 18 years ago.
And there's this competitiveness, too, because I see a lot of pro guys on the golf course, and you would think they're either on a basketball court or the gridiron or whatever they've done before.
Absolutely. And if you believe that you're an athlete, you think you could just step up to that white little ball and hit it, but it's not that way. It took me a long time. But what I did differently than anybody else is I actually went to golf schools because I got tired of people telling me how to hit the ball and not getting it correctly. So I went to schools, and when I went to golf schools, I was the only single person at the golf schools. People would come in couples.
But that kind of shaped you and changed you, because from those golf schools, you've now formed your own academy.
Absolutely. Again, falling in love with the game. You know, I started playing more, and then I decided to get in the PGA program. I didn't complete the PGA program, but I was a part of the PGA program as an apprentice. Mm-hmm. And I learned so much there. And then just from there, I decided I wanted to have my own thing. So I started first in the business as a rep. Then I got into the PGA program. Then after that, I started my own clothing line. And then I decided that I'm going to get into this business full term, and everything I touch now has to do with golf.
I want to talk to you about that, because you have a business model per se. You have a model of what it is you want to do in life. Like you called this your retirement plan. Well, there was a lot that happened before you got there.
Yes, but you know what shaped me to get there is I just saw something missing in the golf industry. For instance, like my clothing line. When I went to the PGA show, I saw all of these vendors and all this money in this building, but the style of clothes that I wanted to wear wasn't there. So I decided I'm going to go create my own. And I had that company for 5 or 6 years. And I still have it, but the clothing line business is not as popular. So, or the business is not making as much money. So I can put it down and pick it back up when I want to. So my business model for that was, instead of going and trying to manufacture myself, I did private labeling. So now I could pick it up and put it down, which I think is a smart way to get into business.
And you do have a business model. You talk a lot about your model and what that means in terms of your overall picture. And that goes back to some of your football days and what you learned on the defensive end of playing, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In defense, I played defensive back, and being a defensive coordinator, the philosophy is on defense, formation recognition and strategy situation. And you can use that in life for anything. So, and you can use it in golf. So formation recognition is, once you're looking down the golf course and you know where you want to hit your ball and place it there, and then the strategy that goes along with that. And the same thing that has to do with life. You can set a goal, but you still have to make it happen. And so in life, you can position yourself to be where you want it to be, but then you have to have the strategy to go along with it to make it happen.
And strategy is a big part of what you do. And I have to tease you just a little bit because we have a few similarities, not just the Big Ten, but you're one of those macho guys. You play all the sports, you do all this stuff. Well, my dad was military and all the macho stuff. And then you wound up with a house full of women.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. I have 6 girls now. And one is 21, one is 18, one is 14, one is 11, 9, and then 5 years old. So, and all of them are in sports. And so they understand that philosophy now, and they're starting to understand what it takes to be a student athlete, what it takes to be an athlete, and put the whole thing together. And I'm helping them with that.
That's pretty cool. And it also pointed out something else that you saw missing in golf, and that is girls learning at a young age. And that is the precipice, really, for something else that you're doing. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. I'm starting a program that's called Pretty in Pink. And I'm very excited about it because if you look on the LPGA tour, you see Asian girls that's starting at a young age, coming on tour at age 13. But if you look at the money, who's making the most money, the Asian girls are at the top, which I believe are great. And the American girls are not starting out young enough. So that's what made me decide to do Pretty in Pink program. And so for the town of Kernersville, I want the girls to start out at a young age, have the corporate people pay for them to come in and be able to take lessons, to learn golf at a young age, so we can start seeing more American girls heading in the direction of college, because there's so many college scholarships out there for girls. More than girls are coming to get the scholarships.
And we're missing out on those because of we're not starting young enough. Like, I couldn't hit, anything,
right?
Because I've never golfed.
Sure.
But getting them to start earlier is key. And it's not just the girls, the boys. The programs for the boys, or other programs for them too. Absolutely.
I have an academy for boys and girls that starts out at age 4 till 16. So it's girls and boys, kids and women, believe it or not, have a natural swing when it comes to golf.
You saw me. There is no natural.
Well, there is. There is a natural swing. Men come to the golf lessons with an ego, but kids and women actually come as a sponge and want you to teach them the game. But they have that natural swing, and once you teach them the right fundamentals, they get it real quick. Like my girls, my 5-year-old, my 9-year-old, my 11-year-old can hit a golf ball.
Yeah, very far. I've seen them.
Right.
I've seen them. And that helps give you something to tell someone else it's possible.
Right, but not only that, they golf will help them in life, you know, through the people that they meet, the discipline that it takes to be able to play golf, to have different parts of your game. It's not just about driving. It's not just about short game. It's not just about your mid game. You got to be able to put the whole thing together. That's what intrigues me about golf. You can't master the game. You know, and as an athlete, you think you can and you want to, but that will never happen. So there's always something that's going to pull you back.
And that keeps it fun?
That keeps it real fun, because a lot of people will say, I'm quitting this game, throw their clubs in the water, but when they hit that one shot, that will make them return.
You know, Keith, you talk about retirement, but you don't look like you're anywhere near retirement. So what's the future hold for Keith Hunter?
Well, that's a great question, and I did mention retirement, but I do have 3 other projects on the table already, and that is, I won't say where, but I have plans on doing a huge miniature golf course on a $10 million facility this year, and probably at the end of 2015. And then 2016, I have the opportunity to help develop a 9-hole golf course. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And then also, another young man approached me about doing a driving range and a miniature golf course. So, you know, with all 3 projects, we're talking about probably a $2.5 million project. So
retirement's overrated. It's what you're saying.
Yes, it is overrated, absolutely. But I'm having so much fun. And in fact, the PGA magazine, really the Golf Range magazine, is doing a story on me next month on flipping ranges, me buying ranges, golf ranges, fixing them up, and then flipping them, selling them. So I'm enjoying doing that, and I like that.
There's so many avenues out there, and if you were talking to someone who is going into business for the first time, or someone who has a dream and wants to make that dream come true, how would you tell them to begin?
Well, you have to get in the business first. You're talking about in golf?
Or any business.
Yes. Well, for instance, when I speak at college universities, and from the clothing standpoint, everybody want to be a designer. Everybody want to have their own design. But it takes millions, as you know, to do a design. And then when you deal with the different seasons of designs, you're talking about millions of dollars, plus having it overseas and having it shipped here. So I help the kids understand that, first of all, I'm a walking billboard myself. So in marketing, I'm always marketing. But in the business, you can get in the business by private labeling, taking a bigger company, stuff that they already have shipped over here, put your label in it, and now you're in business. Nobody don't have to know. They don't really care that it's your design or not, long as the style is right. So you can get into the business that way. So that's when I'm talking to young people about how to get in the business of clothing and not believe that you can have your own design without having the money.
Right. But
right.
Dreams do come true. And that's a very important thing to translate to young people, which is what you'd be doing with Pretty in Pink, what you're doing with the Golf Academy, so many things. And it gives people hope, I guess, that they can do something, they can dream big and be that boy from Jersey.
Absolutely. I mean, as you know, there's not too many people, African Americans, that own their own driving range. So I would think that people would be inspired and know that they can have their own place. And obviously you got to have some money to be able to put down to find a place. But today, because so many people have land that they can't move, sometimes people will just give you the land. And now if you have a little bit of money or find a business partner to help develop that land into a driving range, all of a sudden you're in business.
A lot of people want to know about that and finding that person that's just giving land away. So, but I do want to thank you. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for being a new part of the community.
Yes.
And all the things that you were doing for young girls, for young men, everybody involved. I think it's a big thing.
Well, thank you very much, and I really appreciate you having me today. I really enjoyed this interview.
Awesome.
And I'm with you.
Keith Hunter, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. We've learned a lot about golf. I still don't think I'm ever going to be able to swing anything, but I will try because he swears he can teach me. Thanks for being with us.